Hello, horror fans. Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles. Today, I'm joined by the director of this intense horror film, Do Not Enter. Let's welcome Marc Klasfeld. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Group of explorers investigate an old abandoned hotel, encounters a strange supernatural being, and competing groups searching for a legendary hidden treasure at the Paragon Hotel. This movie is based on a book, Creepers by David, I believe, Morrell. Did you use that book as a blueprint to move the story along, or it was just like the basis of how the foundation you wanted the story to go?
Well, I was presented with a script
Hmm.
that was based on the book, but the book is called Creepers and the movie is
Hmm.
called Do Not Enter. And they're definitely two different things. Some similarities, the Paragon Hotel and urban exploring, but there are definitely a lot of differences, but it's definitely its own thing. But David Morrell is he's a wonderful author. He wrote First Blood, which the first Rambo movie was based off of. And it's definitely the foundation for the movie.
And I did watch those Rambo movies back in the day. They
Oh
were a
yeah.
lot of fun, yeah. I was trying to look up to see if there was a particular hotel this was based off, because some horror movies have that. And it said, no, there's not any particular, but it's based on luxury, power, and fame. And what I was getting out of it is that that even wasn't enough. These people had to go beyond that to look on the dark side, which I kind of like how that story went.
Well, that was one of the biggest challenges with the movie was, how do you create this hotel? I mean, we don't have a Tom Cruise level budget here, so how are we going to find this place? And if you can imagine, most abandoned buildings of this size or abandoned hotels even they're not safe to shoot in, right? There's
Mhm.
glass, there's rebar, there's concrete there. We're never going to get permitted. It's not safe to shoot in something like that. But one of the producers on the movie has a lot of experience shooting in Bulgaria. He sent me photos of this location in Bulgaria. That's Bulgaria used to be a communist country, and I guess in the 70s, the communist government built this giant concrete brutalist, like glass and concrete like thing. It's the biggest building you've ever been in. I mean, you can walk in this place for miles and miles, and there's huge spaces, which you see in the movie, and there's a lot of nooks and crannies, which you also see. And that was the reason we shot in Bulgaria. And that building, it's another character. The Paragon Hotel is its own character, and that's just a huge part of the movie.
And I also like the open space because
Yeah,
as Diana was walking up the stairs, it was like just
yeah.
massive with a piano. I was like, okay, that right there would let me know that's not where I want to be. And I have to say the sound design was great because I mean there were little details about it that okay, something is coming and you don't know where it is. And like I just like how we could hear it, but we can't see it.
And also just getting not only the visual of the hotel, but the audio of the hotel, the oral kind of like nature of this big space, and hearing the voices and hearing the echo, and that was a big part of bringing that experience alive as well.
Because you have to show how big and massive this place is and also how small they are to it. I mean, it was really creepy. And the creature design, the slender pale creature, I was waiting to see it and I was like, whoa, okay.
I was Googling around and I came across this wonderful actor, Javier Botet. And Javier, when you see him, he has a his physicality is he looks like nobody else on earth. I mean, he has such a unique look to him. And on a separate side, he's just the sweetest, nicest man you could ever meet. And me and him were talking about not only the evil side of the creature, but the human side without giving too much away. And he was really great at working with me and collaborating and creating that creature.
Yeah, and he's known for his animated movements and his creatures that he did. It's like when I looked him up, I was like, oh my God, Slender Man and the big toe from Scary Stories is Tale in the Dark and the
Yeah.
key face from Insidious. So That was awesome to have him
Yeah,
on there.
I remember, I think it was the trailer to It number two.
Mm.
And they kept playing this one scene, and it was like with one of the actresses in a house, and it was just and that was him the whole time behind her playing this thing, and it was just so freaky. So he's great.
You did get the best person for that creature. And also, there was that scene, the rat blanket. I call it the rat blanket when they were in the
Huh?
tunnel and all those rats.
Like
They once the rats were done, they would have I would have been a corpse. That was a nice touch because at first I thought it was going to be bats, and then I was like, rats. That was way different. But how everything went and just it was just like this enclosed space and then open space and then the sound design and then you barely see the creature and then it was like how the cameras would put it was just like it was a lot going on, but
uh,
it just made you feel like it gave you the scary tone and feel that it was supposed to do. And I think you did such a great job with that.
thank you. Yeah, no, that was certainly the intention, you know. I mean, it's definitely there's definitely the horror element
Mhm.
but there's also I think you're talking about the adventure element, you know,
Yeah.
the urban exploration and exploring all of these spaces and that was a really fun part of it for me.
There were two things that unfold, and I said that the thrill seekers stumble across a cult type thing going on,
Mhm.
and that led to some tragic losses. And in spite of all that, was able to get notoriety from the things that they were searching for. And I said, someone's tragic is another person's view.
Uh-huh.
And just the way it was so tragic, it was so creepy, the human experience of they really needed to find this money and treasure, but there were other things, elements that were keeping them from it, and it was themselves. Like, I should do this, and then they had a relationship issue, then someone's used to date somebody, and then you have JD going rogue. I mean, it was just a lot going on. It wasn't just this adventure, it was within themselves. And I like how you put that touch where you made it not only, you know, had some fun parts and some scary parts,
Mhm.
but made more human. Like this could happen
Sure.
to anyone.
Definitely a tragic storyline without giving too much away, and the humanity of you know what happens with the Frank Ballinger character. There
Mhm.
like that aspect. So I'm glad you know that's a good observation.
Thank you. And each of the characters, even though they were friends, they were the main ones. Who is that? We have Diane, Cora, Rick, and Vernon. And well,
Uh,
JD was, but that you got to see.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they were so different, and based on their skill, because you kind of see who kind of person they are in the beginning, it helped them move on to the next. You either like them or you hate them, and you understand them, and they brought them, they had something in the movie, they wasn't just randomly there. I like how you brought that there.
Yeah, well, you know, in this urban exploration group called the Creepers, you know,
Hmm.
everybody has their own role in it. You know, everybody has
Hmm.
personality, their own style, their own skill set that they bring to the table. I mean, you know, there, you have the planner, you have like the rebel, you have like the more like athletic, then you have like the thinker. You know, there's a lot of different
Hmm.
skill sets that bring that group to what they do. So that's so great that you got all that.
Thank you. Thank you. And the outside of the Paragon Hotel, there was no way I would have went in because I think the outside was just as scary as the inside when it showed them how massive is on the beach and then you see the
Yeah,
roller coaster in the water.
yeah.
And I thought it was out because there is a real hotel or amusement park that it does have a roller coaster in the water.
After the hurricane in New Jersey, I forgot how
Hmm.
long ago it was. That's an iconic image of that
Hmm.
roller coaster in the water, and that's where we took that from.
Oh, okay. Because I have like a bunch of paranormals and books, and I was like, I see something like this. And so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started doing more research on it, and I like to do that in movies. You know, I just don't watch them. I like to like research and figure out how things be put together and stuff
Sure,
like that.
yeah.
So that was fun. I was like, oh, at first I was like, how does this even happen?
Yeah, no, that was,
I
I mean, that was a very, I forgot, was it Hurricane Sandy? I'm not sure what hurricane, I think it was Hurricane Sandy, I'm not sure, but there was, but that always, I'm from New Jersey, so that always struck me as such an iconic image, this image of like, pure fun and enjoyment and just mixed with like disaster, just this. And yeah, and then like you said, how the hell does a roller coaster end up in the middle of the ocean? So I it always stuck with me, and I'm it's in the movie, so I'm glad it struck you like that.
visuals, the sound, the characters, the pale creature. I mean, it was so much fun, and it just felt like a video game. Like you were inside, just exploring, going along with them, and you did such a great job. And through Lionsgate, this was distributed through Lionsgate, so that's exciting.
Yeah, no, it's Lionsgate is definitely giving it a good look. I mean, I know we're not the biggest movie. I know we don't have Tom Cruise or Nicole Kidman, but we're the little engine that could, and we're definitely Lionsgate has been great in helping us get this out there.
To me, any indie film or small film is just as big as anyone because time, budget, just filming and editing and all these things, it costs money
Sure.
and time. So no matter how small or big, I look at it both equal.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
No, those, I mean, I love all kinds of movies in all different kinds of ways, but there's so many things and it's hard to cut through the noise and Lionsgate has been great and I'm sure it'll find its audience. I mean, you have so many kind words about it. I'm hopefully there's other people like you and it gets out there.
It's going to get out there. There's always a movie for somebody, no matter what. And it had me yelling at the screen too about certain things
Wow.
because I was like, oh hell no, like I wouldn't do that. I was like, I'm out of here. Like I like when I interact. I like when movies do
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
Not all movies are able to do that. So if you're
Oh,
able to
cool.
have me pause it for a second and like,
Uh-huh.
what was that? It comes out March 20th, right?
Correct.
Yes, people need to see this film. Yeah, do not enter. It was they shouldn't have entered in there, but
We wouldn't have a movie if they
yeah,
didn't.
that's right. See, that's why I wouldn't be be in it because the movie would last 2 seconds. But thank you so much, Mark. I wish you the best of success on this film and future films. I hope to see more of your work.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.